Bills Mafia. Are you ready? From North Carolina to Buffalo, the Mafia is united. This is your home for the passion, the power, and the pride of the Buffalo Bills. Welcome to Bills Mafia Carolina Takeover. Let's go Bills.
All right, Bills Mafia, welcome back to another episode. This is our first episode of a loss, which I had a feeling somewhere down the road we would be doing one of these, and we may even be doing more than one of these. Who knows? But certainly this is one, and didn't expect it to be this Sunday. I thought maybe the Kansas City game, but here we are. Anyway, the Bills are 4-1. The AFC East is now climbed to New England, one game back from the Bills, so it's a little bit of a tighter race. It would have been 3 games. The Bills would have been up on New England and the rest of the foe had they won, but they didn't, and so here we are now. I'm tired as hell, just like everyone else who had their white out, but what do you think, Tim? What did you think of the game on Sunday night?
Turnovers. That's what cost you guys the game.
Yeah.
And honestly, going back to it, my key to the game was Diggs versus Tre'Davious White. Obviously, Diggs won that battle.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are doing on defense. I've seen some rumors out there of rumors that you guys are trying to add some people.
Really?
I don't know how. Yes, I've seen a rumor of Asante Samuel Jr. being a possible pickup in the future, which I think would be a great pickup. Granted, he is coming off an injury and all that stuff, but anything's better than what I've been seeing because your defense is not good.
Yeah, well, this is why we have Tim the Outsider to get us a more of kind of like what's out there. So that would be big. That would be big for sure. And yes, you did call the Tre'Davious White, Stefon Diggs. I did not think Stefon Diggs was going to have the day that he had. In fact, when we had Jesse on the other sideline, I had actually mentioned to him that I thought Matt Collins would have a bigger game, but they may not be using him like they were in Buffalo.
No, and they're running a defense or offense like what you guys were running when Diggs was in Buffalo.
Yeah,
where it's Diggs is getting most of the touches. The other guys might sprinkle something in here once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting game for me. Certainly, obviously the fumbles, the turnovers, you can't have that. I'm not a big guy that gets on the refs, but I mean, Ed Hog, is that Ed? What's it? Is that Ed? That's not Ed Hog. That's his son, right? Sean or something like that.
Yeah, that's his son. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen games not with the Bills playing, and he's reffing, and there seems to be more flags than not coming out of them. I don't know. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theory or anything like that, but it definitely felt like that dude wanted to be on TV because he wanted to be like his old man in the jacked up thing. But, man, penalties kill you. Certainly there were penalties called on the Bills that definitely should have been called, no question about it. But I think with this Bills team, if you get into penalties like false starts and all that stuff at certain times of the game, like that slows the defense or the offense, right? I mean, Josh Allen's got to be in a rhythm.
Absolutely. Obviously, turning the ball over is going to kill any team. More than likely, any game you play, if you lose a turnover battle, there's a good chance you lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as far as offensively, I think you guys have a problem. I know you guys are sharing carries. I really have a problem when James Cook is a top talent and you guys keep bringing everybody else in. I understand you want to mix in people once in a while, and I get it, but James Cook is not getting enough touches.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the game plan early against New England, not focusing more on Cook, and that may have to do a little bit with that they are ranked the number 2 defense in the league going into that game. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe that could have been a point of it. I mean, Josh is, we talk about Josh all the time, obviously, on this, and he's, supernatural talent. But it was interesting that they didn't work in Cook as much. I don't have a problem with third down and putting Ty Johnson out there. He's a way better kind of catch receiver back than Cook, I think.
Okay.
And I think having Ray Davis in the mix as well kind of gives you gives defenses kind of a different feel at running back, right? It's not like Davis is a power guy. He's going to go north and south, where Cook's going to take you to the outside. So I think the NFL nowadays is done by committee.
I'm with you on that, but Cook is a way better talent than both the other two. And you didn't pay Cook to be a running back by committee.
Sure.
If you were going to if you want to be like, hey, we're doing running back by committee, why pay Cook?
Yeah.
Because you could have spent that money elsewhere.
Yeah, so I agree with you there. I think also too, I might be leaning your way towards finding a receiver. And I know since we've
That's
been
exactly
doing
where
this
I was
for
going to
the
go
last-
with it as well.
Yeah. Since we've been doing this the last 5 weeks now, I've been on the bandwagon of we don't need one. But and this happened last year too. There's a couple games, like 1 or 2 games, where you felt like when things got tough, right? Who is that number one wide receiver? I mean, Kincaid is great, and I always thought he'd be good, but I mean, you got to have somebody there, and I'm leaning more towards the fact that we need to do something. Keon Coleman is not the answer, and Palmer's wherever, and teams are going to double Shakir because that is Josh's favorite go-to person.
Shakir should not be your number one because he's a slot receiver. This is shouldn't be his thing. Keon Coleman is a solid number 2. He is not number 1. He hasn't shown me anything to where, hey, I'm going to take over a game. You just toss me the ball. Does he have the talent? And maybe he can grow into that still because he is still young. Sure. But you're seeing it right with New England. How New England game was on the line. Who are you throwing to? Diggs.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you guys used to do. It's hard. It's hard when you don't have a top wide receiver.
I just don't know, like right now, what the Bills can do at that point at the wide receiver position, other than make a blockbuster trade. But I don't know who they're going to trade for and with. So I feel like it's more of just this is what we're going to have to deal with, and we're going to win games. I mean, we're going to win the AFC East. There's no question about that. I mean, I know the Patriots are real high right now, but the Bills.
It's not about winning the East, though.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is, we're gonna be there in the end. Like I believe that. I think anybody would believe that. Buffalo's certainly one of the top 2 teams, 3 teams in the league right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But so I don't know if there's any fix to the wide receiver at this point, other than a blockbuster trade, or you just got to ride this thing out.
I think you guys need to make a trade. I mean, let's put all our chips in the middle. We're not going to keep pushing. You're going to keep pushing the cap down the road. All these cap hits are going to end up catching up with you, and you guys are going to even getting weaker down the line. So let's put our chips in the middle. Let's go for it. If any year is the year to push it in, this is the year.
Yeah.
You guys literally were the last team to lose in the league this year. You get the first loss.
Yeah.
Let's get a wide receiver and have somebody to go to. There is going to be tradable receivers out there. Simple fact is, some of these teams are seeing that they're not going to be good.
Yeah.
Go get guys like as Jacoby Myers from the Raiders, who already wanted to trade at the beginning of the season in the first place.
Yeah.
Talk to Cincinnati about T. Higgins.
I know you had mentioned that earlier or a couple weeks ago about that.
There's just a couple guys, but there's people out there. You can look at the bottom of the standings. Go talk to those teams.
Yeah,
and see what you can pull off.
Yeah, I agree with you. Something needs to be done there. And the wide receiver spot for sure. I think it was very eerie feeling for me, like late last year when, we were coming down the stretch and it was just, we couldn't get anybody open. There was no one there. So, I definitely feel that. I think conversation in the Bills Mafia room after the Pats game here is also the cornerback position. We talked a little bit about it, but I unfortunately my pick when I was on the Jets podcast, my pick of like the player of the year for the Bills was going to be Dorian Williams, and he's out. He's got a neck injury. I'm sorry, Dorian Strong was my pick for the the rookie of the year and really taking over Trey White's spot, but he's got a neck injury and he's going to get a second opinion. So, I'm not sure what to do there, and if there is anything to do.
Yeah, didn't you guys get a corner from Kentucky?
Yeah, he is still hurt. He's still hurt.
Is he coming back anytime soon?
Yes. It is not a long season-ending injury. The Bills typically will slow play these injuries, because they feel like they don't need it, and you got Trey White, a veteran out there, but certainly getting Max Harrison back would be helpful. I don't know how far along he is in the process, but it is something to think about.
You guys definitely need to upgrade, because the simple fact was you guys knew game on the line. Drake needs a pass. Diggs is getting the ball. What are we doing?
No, I'm with you. I agree with you. I think Matt Milano got hurt his pec again. I would shut him down. It's just more of a liability piece for that. So, but I do want to, before we move on, I do want to give credit to the Bills defense, because they certainly stepped it up for the offense.
In the first half, they absolutely did.
They kept Josh in the game. There was a couple red zone areas that New England was in that easily could have took 14 points, and they held them to 3 field goals for 3 points. So the defense did step it up, and the offense struggles right now. And so it's going to be interesting going forward how the offense is going to play. I want to ask you a Pats question, especially being the outsider here on our show.
Mm-hmm.
Sustainable, the Pats, the way they're just targeting Diggs and going forward like that?
Absolutely. The fact is, Mike Vrabel is the coach. Mike Vrabel is a very good coach. And Drake May's already showing you the talent that he has. He was already on that Josh Allen level when he was that young. You give him a few years, he might be on the same level. Yeah, he's got that kind of talent.
Well,
and
certainly.
And you know what? What helped Josh Allen? Stephon Diggs. Well, that's who's helping Drake May right now.
Yeah. Well, certainly, Bills Mafia. We're going to tune in to the rest of the, tune closely to the Pats next couple games here, because they are a game behind us now. Bills also got to get what they need to get done, and that starts on Monday night against the Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty Birds, I believe they call them. And it wouldn't be an Atlanta Falcons versus Buffalo Bills matchup on the other sideline without getting a DJ in the house, right? DJ
Absolutely.
Nyce One is dropping in on the other sideline, a rabid Atlanta fan, but also spins the tunes because Hot Atlanta is all about partying. So I'm interested to see what he thinks about the matchup, especially after the Bills loss, right here on the other sideline.
All right, Mafia. It's time for The Other Sideline, where we bring in fans from the teams the Bills are facing this week. We get their perspective, their passion, and maybe even a little trash talk. So buckle up, because it's not just Bills Mafia in the house. It's game week, and the spotlight's on both sidelines. Let's go, Bills!
Hey, guys, welcome back to The Other Sideline. And really excited about this one, as I was last week. This one is going to be fun. This one, the Bills are traveling to Atlanta. I'm not sure when the last time we actually played the Falcons in Atlanta, but I know it's hot Atlanta. The party's Atlanta. So there's only one guy I could think of to join the show, DJ Nyce One, representing the Dirty Birds.
Let's go. Let's go. A-Town. What it do? What's happening?
Hey, I appreciate you hopping on, DJ Nyce One, and really excited for this matchup. And it's going to be an interesting one for sure. I know Hot Atlanta is going to be all fired up for this.
Hey, most definitely, man. You know, we have high expectations this year, just like y'all. Y'all proving we not. We trying to get there. So yeah, this is a big game for us.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I want to start off real quick with Raheem Morris. He had made a really interesting comment. He kind of apologized to and you guys are the Dirty Birds. Is that what you guys call yourselves, the Dirty Birds?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He apologized to the Dirty Birds after the Carolina blowout. After you guys got beat by Carolina and then you beat Washington.
Yeah, that was an ugly one.
Yeah. So I'm curious from the Dirty Bird standpoint, like what's kind of the message you think that the Falcons are and your coaches are just going to give to the Dirty Birds with the Bills coming in?
I mean, getting the W last week was good. You know what I'm saying? That took the taste out of our mouths because, losing to a rival like that, Carolina, that was a rough one, But I think going into this game, as long as we can be competitive, I think, that's all, we ask for as fans. We definitely want to get the W because we're going to show up, at Mercedes-Benz. But just be competitive. Don't get skunked. We don't want no donuts no more, you know what I'm saying? But
I hear you.
Yeah, just compete. Get the guys ready to compete.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I know, like, obviously we do the show in the Carolinas here, so we get a lot of Carolina Panther, and we were kind of surprised here. Bills Mafia, Carolina Takeover, we were really surprised. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I would love to be a fly on the wall in there in Atlanta, kind of see what the message is going. But, certainly it's no secret, DJ Nyce One, that the Bills defense ranks 28th in the league on the defensive run. I mean, everybody, in the National Football League knows that we struggled in there. So is this something that you feel like, 40 carry game for the outstanding Bijan here? Or do you think maybe it could be more of a shootout kind of a thing?
It depends. I think we're better off running. I think, with Bijan and Algier, we got two steady backs that can handle the load.
Mm-hmm.
Penix still, he's still technically a rookie, even though, he got a couple games last year. So I wouldn't want to put the whole burden on him. And, if we can establish the run early, then, to stick with it. And I think 40 sounds about right, but I would definitely establish the run early, especially when we got a top back as Bijan in there.
Yeah, and especially from the Bills side of things here, that's one thing that concerns me a little bit going into Hot Atlanta is the Bills defense. We're not sure about Ed Oliver, and Matt Milano is going to be out for an extended period of time with a pec there, so he's not going to play. So it's going to be an interesting piece. I think something Bills Mafia and the Bills are going to have to just deal with down the road. But I expect, especially teams like Atlanta, to really run the ball. I know the Bills last week against the Pats, they shut it down. So hoping for a similar situation here. If it does end up, if Josh does, light it up and it does end up kind of being, Bills are up big, does Atlanta have enough firepower to go to the pass?
If the offense is clicking, that's why I feel like we got to establish the run first, to open up the game for the receivers. We got London, we got Pitts, we got Mooney. So, we got some weapons there. If they're not, getting blitzed every time and Penix is getting time to throw the rock, I think we can, do a little back and forth. But from our perspective, I think that's not the smart route to go. I think the better route to go, at least until Penix gets some more playing time and a season or two, I wouldn't want to put all that pressure on him. So I would definitely try to I'd rather go to the run first. But if we got to go through the air, I think we can make it happen.
Yeah, Atlanta's a young team, right? I mean, you guys got a young team there, yeah. So certainly there's a lot of firepower. I want to hit on Pitts. You had mentioned him just a few minutes ago on Pitts there. He's healthy, right? And now producing well, and he had a great game against Washington. I don't need to tell you this, but the ceiling is high for Pitts. Is this a mismatch, do you think, for Bills Mafia going against the Bills defense, kind of the cornerback position?
I don't know that much. I think it depends on if they get a lot of plays going and pitch route, because sometimes, like, I know in the past, if a lot of plays aren't getting run towards him, he kind of like gets lost in the shuffle. So I think that's another thing with him. If, as you saw in the Washington game, they targeted him,
Yeah.
so they kind of got him into the game. So I think the same thing has to go there. He can't just be blocking and running routes. He needs to really stand out and get a couple of targets. And I think, especially in the red zone, that's like the perfect target, because as shown in the last game, they're finally starting to do that, because beginning of the season, I was like, oh, here's another pit season where they don't do nothing with them. But
Yeah, right.
that last game was good to see, so I'm hoping they stay consistent with that too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The Bills defense has been really good in the red zone. We saw it Sunday night against the Pats there. Pats certainly could have had 14. We held them there to 3. So it is going to be interesting to see that. I think from a Bills perspective, the cornerback is a really vulnerable position right now, especially with Trey White not looking the way he is. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what kind of day Pitts has there. I do think he has a big day against the Bills. But certainly with him being healthy and coming back basically on his breakout game. I want to flip to the other side of the ball here for a moment, if you don't mind. The Falcons defense, kind of two halves, right? Great against the pass, and they were kind of vulnerable, and they kind of exposed a little bit against the run. I don't need to tell you this, because you got Josh Allen and you got James Cook coming in the game. Now, James didn't have a good game last week, but I expect that to change there. What would you say is the absolute non-negotiable need to shut down, Josh Allen or James Cook?
That's kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't question right there. I'd probably say we need to stop Josh, because our front line is solid for the most part, but a lot of times we're weak in the secondary. So I think if we can blitz and put a lot of pressure on Josh, I think we'll be better off that way, because I feel like if we just let him just get plenty of time back there in the pocket, he's just gonna tear us up. So yeah. I think the more focus and pressure should be on getting Josh more than Cook.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely what Bills Mafia likes to hear, like Cook lighting it up, because I do think Cook does bring it. When Cook's rolling, play action comes in, and it's really tough to stop. And if those two are getting going, it's going to be tough. Speaking of Josh kind of throwing it all over the yard, AJ Terrell, full go from what I hear.
That guy.
Yeah. So is he a guy that's going to travel? Is he going to kind of does he stay on one side, or is he going to travel with either Coleman or Shakir or Palmer or anything there?
I think they'll play it by ear. Both are solid receivers, but I don't think neither one's like a standout. That's the one good thing about y'all's team is y'all have a variety. Y'all don't have like one guy.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to keep your eye on everybody. So I think he'll roam first, just to kind of see how things go. And if one guy starts to just starts grabbing everything, I think he's gonna lock in on him.
Okay.
So if Coleman's like, if all of a sudden he's got like 6 or 7 passes, 100-something yards, or getting close to like that, AJ gonna lock in on him. But if y'all spreading the wealth out, then I think he'll just kind of roam. He's smart enough defensive player to know he can read, so he can read plays. So
yeah, we talked a little bit about your defense and blitzing Josh, and you had mentioned that earlier, so I want to come back to that real quick. So Josh is notorious for really lighting up defenses when they blitz. So you had mentioned stopping Josh. Do you think that may mean pulling back some of the blitzes, or stopping Josh in the sense of getting him off his spot?
I think more of getting him off his spot. Obviously, he ain't got no problem taking off on a run, so that's another thing you got to worry about.
Yeah.
But we got some young studs up front. If they can put some pressure on them early, I think that'll help. Kind of razzle a little bit, because like I said before, if he just stands in that pocket, man, it's gonna be a long day. So we gotta get him off his game, at least get him moving a little bit. So
yeah. What happened to the Carolina game when you guys got blown out? Did they stop the run, or you just not clicking, or
it was going wrong that game, man? They couldn't stop. I mean, they made Bryce Young look like Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to take that one as an L. that's why, Raheem apologized because he just ain't had them guys ready. I think they were looking more towards the Washington game, which they shouldn't have because, when you know how it is.
Yeah.
Past Sunday with the Patriots, you might have thought, oh yeah, they stinking right now. We're gonna run over them, but it's a rivalry game. So
that's it.
Those rivalry games, they come to play. So that's what happened with Carolina, man. They came to play. Kudos to them. But we'll see them again. We'll see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't that the truth. Well, hey, X Factor. What is kind of the X Factor? Let's start with the Bills. What's kind of like from the Dirty Bird standpoint, what does Buffalo have to do to come into Mercedes-Benz Stadium and get that dub?
Shit, honestly, get established the long game. If y'all can get it to where y'all can get our defense rattled and y'all throwing those, 40, 50, 60 yarders.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing we gotta watch out for. We can't let, big plays happen down the field, which, it happens a lot of times with us. So if we can make sure we don't give any big plays, I think, we'll be okay.
And what about you guys? Like, what do you think is the X factor besides Bijan? Because obviously I think that he's going to have a huge game against the Bills. May even win it for Atlanta, to be honest with you. But so what would be that X factor?
Well, the reverse, where I said that y'all have to establish the long ball. We got to establish the long ball. We can't depend on Bijan the whole time. So, and at the same time, Pitts ain't no long bomber. He's more of the short route guy as a tight end. So we need Drake London to have a big game. So, I think if Drake can catch someone to get open, get at least one or two big plays to get Penix feeling like, okay, I can air this thing out, then I think that'll help us out. So I'm gonna put Drake London as the X factor on offense.
I agree with you there for sure. I do think that the Bills come out firing off all cylinders. I do think that the offense clicks to try to get Bijan out of the game as much as possible and make Penix Jr. beat the Bills. And I think that is probably the X factor for the Bills. I think for the Dirty Birds to win, simply copycat what New England did to Buffalo on Sunday. I think if they can do that and establish that and hold the Bills to 20 points, which I don't think it's going to be really tough the rest of the season for teams holding the Bills to 20. But if you get the Bills to 20, you got a shot for sure.
We got a solid defense this year, so I mean, you never know, it can happen. But like I said, they gotta play like the other games this year. They show up like they did at the Panthers, and it's gonna be another big blowout.
That's right. Yeah. Well, before you go, I want to just a couple things for you. This is the last season at I call the Ralph for Highmark. Depends on how old you are, I guess. So I'm always asking our guests, what's the one memory? It could be Bills versus Atlanta or Bills versus anyone, but do you have a certain memory from the Ralph, the Rich Stadium, Highmark Stadium that you could think of that either has to do with Falcons or just a regular game sticks in your mind?
I had to look it up because I'm not gonna lie to you, because we ain't played that many times. So
I know. Yeah, this is tough for the. Yeah, this is
we
tough
play a
for
lot
the
of preseason. Yeah, we play a lot of preseason, but we don't ever play too many times in the regular season.
Yeah.
So I got to go back to September 25th, 2005. The last time we came there and got the dub. So that's my my big shout out to the Ralph.
Yeah,
when we came up there and we got that W.
Yeah, that was what year was that again? 2000.
2005. That's how long ago it's been.
Man, 2005. So that that had to have been Fitzpatrick. I think might have been the quarterback. That would have been like 3 years. Who was the quarterback then?
The GOAT, Michael Vick, baby. He was still there.
Okay, Michael Vick. And for the Bills, I think it might have been Fitzpatrick. I can't
believe.
Yeah. I can't believe Michael Vick there. Man, that's crazy. I'll have to go back and look at that stat line. Love to see kind of like how Vick.
Yeah, I didn't look the stat line up, but I bet that was crazy. The final was 24-16, so it wasn't a big offensive game.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the stats was probably up there because, I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
Vic was amazing, man. So, we still love Vic in the A. So.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. That's a great memory. I appreciate you bringing that up, man. I'm definitely going to go back there and look that up. So.
Heck yeah, man. You ready for the new stadium?
Yes. Really ready for that. It's crazy to think that the Ralph is going to be torn down. It's going to be a parking lot. haven't had an opportunity to get up there and see the new stadium, but from everything I've heard from talking with fans and friends of mine, it's just absolutely awesome and really excited. And, you know this, obviously we're hoping that, the first game outside of preseason, we're dropping banners in there, or one banner, I should
Right.
say. But yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be electric. And, quite frankly, it's time, right? I mean, that stadium's
Yeah.
been around since the 70s, before I was born. It's just time. I think it's
We're
fitting
trying to
that we
stick with
waited
the
till
old
Josh.
school.
Yeah, exactly. Josh, yeah, that's awesome.
I ain't mad at it. Sometimes, some of them teams that's been around for a while, that tradition, it's hard to leave it,
That's it. Yeah, it's a great atmosphere, great place to be. So yeah, really looking forward to that as well. Yeah. What do you
Awesome.
got for a score, DJ Nyce One? What do you got for a score?
Man,
And I'm prefacing by saying only one guest picked against their team that they were on the other sideline. Everyone else picked their team. So don't feel like you got to do that.
oh no, I'm gonna ride with my team all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna say 38-35 Falcons. We're gonna win on a game-winning field goal. We done had too many games. We done blew field goals. I think the new kicker we got, he gonna show up and he gonna get the ATL fans, behind his back. So
Hey, yeah. Well, I gotta like your prediction, because that means the Bills' offense is back up where they were before the Pats. They're throwing 30 up there. Yeah, great score. Again,
man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all ain't gonna be down like that. Paige just lucked up and caught y'all number, but man, ain't, like you said before, ain't too many teams gonna do that to y'all. Y'all high-powered offense with a bunch of vets, MVP. Like, shoot, y'all gonna put points up. So I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah. Well, hopefully my prediction, which you'll have to catch later on the road, works, and yours doesn't. for Bill's sake, to get us back on track before the bye. It's really great having you, DJ Nyce One. I've had the pleasure, your family, and I was able to see you DJ and stuff like that. So go ahead and give out your socials. Where can people check you out and see some of your work, and at least connect with you, so the next time you're DJing at the club, they'll be able to reach out to you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can check out all my, socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. DJ Nyce One, NYCEONE, DJ Nyce One. Yeah, and just check me out, man. 2026, I'm gonna start streaming heavy. That's something I've been working towards. So you'll be able to check me out more often online. So just, remember the name, and you'll see a lot of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is awesome. If anybody has any questions or wants to get in touch with DJ Nyce One, you can email me at billsmafiacto@gmail.com, and I'll make sure DJ Nyce One gets it. But again,
hit him up. I come to your city for the right price and turn up.
He will travel. He's got one of the greatest Michael Jackson mixtapes I've ever heard in my entire life, back in the old school days. But DJ Nyce One, I appreciate you coming on the show with us. Good luck
appreciate you having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. Good luck to the Dirty Birds.
One time for the Dirty Birds, baby. Let's get it done.
Yeah, so there's only one guest I can get on here for Hot Atlanta that brings the energy, and that is you, DJ Nyce One. So I really appreciate you coming on, and good luck on Sunday.
Yes, sir. You too.
Appreciate DJ Nyce One, Dwayne, for hopping in the other sideline, giving his perspective from the Falcons' point of view. It's going to be hopefully an entertaining game for our sake. Hopefully the Bills do come out victorious there and get back on track before the bye. And now it's time for Tim the Outsider's favorite part of the show, Mafia Mail.
Bills Mafia, make some noise. It's time for Mafia Mail.
All right, guys. So here we go, Tim. We've got a Mafia Mail. This one comes from Ryan MacArthur from Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham. You ever been to Birmingham, Alabama?
No.
I'm
not trying to go to Alabama.
Me either. I haven't. But here's his question. Hey guys, Ryan from Birmingham, Alabama here. That loss to New England stung, especially knowing how much was on the line in the division. My question is this: after a tough game like that, do you think it's more important for the Bills to A, get Josh and the offense rolling fast to shake off the frustration, or B, tighten things up on defense, since Atlanta can sneak up on you with playmakers? basically he says what has to click first Monday night against the Falcons to keep us from sliding into a losing streak. Love what you guys are doing with the show. Go Bills. All right, thank you, Ryan from Birmingham, Alabama. He had a lot in there, but you want to go ahead and take it, Tim?
It's simple. I think it's a simple answer. It's the defense. Atlanta's got a really good offense. They got a lot of playmakers on that side. You better shut them down or it's just going to be a race to see who scores last. That Buffalo defense needs to step it up because what do they say? What wins championships? Defense wins championships.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you here, Tim. I think the Josh Allen needs to get back on track. Let me just put it this way. If Josh Allen and the offense are on track like they have been, they cover the defense. So if the Bills and the offense get on track, do what they need to do, start putting up 30-plus points, I'm okay with the defense. The defense is going to give up plays. There's no doubt about it. Every defense does. But I still believe if the offense is clicking on all cylinders like it has for the 4 weeks prior to New England, it's very tough for other teams to catch up. If the Bills were firing on all cylinders last Sunday night, New England gets blown out. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with that. So I think Josh Allen steps it up, gets the offense going, and it's going to be tough for Atlanta to keep up.
All right, I'll agree to disagree because the simple fact being is you guys are right there, and you're not going to outscore everybody every week.
No, but
especially with teams such as Kansas City coming up, Atlanta could run with you guys if you guys aren't stopping them.
Right,
and that's why you need to stop them.
For teams like Atlanta, New England, Jets, Miami, 30 points circled on the board, must score 30. And if you get to 30, it's going to be really tough for those teams, New Orleans, those teams to beat you at 30. There are outliers. It's the NFL. But again, if Josh Allen is firing on all cylinders in that offense, it's going to be tough for any team to beat them, including Kansas City. All right, Ryan. Well, we appreciate your question. And if you would like to send in a question for Tim the Outsider and myself, you can do that for Bills Mafia CTO at gmail.com. And we will get your question on the air. Thanks again, Ryan.
And that closes out this week's Mafia Mail. Always love hearing from the family. Now, back to the action.
All right. Back at it, the X Factors. Tim, what are your X Factors for the Bills going into Monday night prior to the bye?
The X Factor is you're going to have to stop Bijan Robinson. He is going to be all over the field. They put him wherever to get him the ball. You need to stop him. And honestly, I just want to see you guys stop some people and keep people under 20 points. And see if that's possible. Atlanta's a tough team because you're not going to outscore everybody every week.
Well, I know we've been talking a lot about the defense on this episode. I do want to remind people, New England, the Bills shut down their run defense. They had a total of 62 yards total in that game, rushing yards, 62. And that's without Ed Oliver, and that's without Matt Milano. So for me, it's very weird, the Bills' defense.
Well, I'm going to tell you, well, first of all, as far as that goes, Antonio Gibson got hurt. So he was out for the New England's backfield. And New England running back fumbled. That's why they probably stayed away from him. Because he's actually fumbled quite a few times this season. And Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, I get that, but ultimately, I mean, that's part of the game, and the Bills shut that down. So, and they held them to, under 30 points, right? So, to your point, can the Bills hold teams to 20 points? And I do believe they can, even with this defense. And I know, and what I was saying is that it's a weird kind of combination because we talk about all the struggles that the Bills defense have, but when you look at it at the end of the game, I mean, it's a solid performance when it comes to running. You can't, you know this, Tim, you can't stop the pass or the run. You have to choose which one. And I think right now teams are going to try to run on the Bills, and the Bills have to try to stop that. But my X factor in this game is not necessarily on the defense. My X factor, once again, is Josh Allen starting off fast. I think that you got to get out here. These games, Josh has got to cook. And speaking of cook, my other X factor is getting James Cook back into the game.
I totally agree with James Cook being back in the game. The simple fact is, if you guys get a running game, then you could slow down the game, and the other offenses on the field.
Yeah,
Get the
action.
running game going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen has done a ton of play action and has worked really well, and so that may be the X factor for Atlanta. And I know Dwayne had mentioned a few X factors, but stopping the run like New England did and make one-dimensional, which is crazy to think that you're going to make Josh Allen one-dimensional and he's the one that's got to be the one-dimensional. But like we talked about earlier in the show, they have nobody to throw to. So defenses are making one-dimensional.
Absolutely. I agree. They're daring the wide receivers to beat them. And some of these guys need to start winning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, do you want to go ahead and throw a score out here?
I'm going to say, from what I've been seeing, Atlanta 30, Buffalo 21.
Okay, this is your first episode where you pick against the Bills. So I'm sure we'll probably get some hate mail from the Mafia, and I'll look forward to doing that. So please do that at billsmafiacto@gmail.com. I'm sure we'll get one we can share outside of the Mafia Mail. Yeah, I say that jokingly because I don't think it's that's outrageous of a score. I don't think Atlanta wins. I think the Bills get back on top here. They get it done. They shut down the national media. They make sure New England Patriots knows who are the daddies of the East. And they win big here. I think 42-17, the Bills blow them out on Monday night. Yes. Blow them out Monday night. It's a stamp game prior to the bye. This game is over early. I just think Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, the whole crew there, Josh Allen, the leadership foundation, the leadership crew in that locker room, they, after that loss, the way that Josh played, they get it figured out and they blow the doors open on Atlanta. Similar to what Carolina did.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
it's definitely possible, but I'm going to tell you right now, Atlanta's a young team. If you give them confidence early, you're in for a long game.
Which is a great point because you said that for the New England game. The X factor for New England was if you get Drake May to score before the Bills score, give them that confidence. So I could see that, but I just think the Bills just, they look at this, they get it all worked out, they get it done, and they throw a 40-burger up on Atlanta. I don't think it's going to be close. I really don't.
It's Monday night. It's in Atlanta.
Yep.
You know what? They're going to have DJ Nyce One on the turntables. They're ready.
Yeah. I just think Josh Allen gets it done. National TV once again. I think they put 40 points on him. I do think it's going to get out of hand pretty early. And in fact, I'm calling it Mitch Trubisky fourth quarter with about 9 minutes to go in the game.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm calling.
From what I'm seeing, I'm going to tell you right now, after I saw what Stephon Diggs did to him, look for Drake London to have 150 yards receiving.
Wow, big time. Since we've gone deep into the season, we've really kind of branched out our predictions here. So, but that's our X factor. So there we go. We got it down stamped. It's on YouTube, Spotify. Make sure you subscribe to those. But that is my take. I'm going 40 burger. Bills get it done. right before the bye. And are you ready for your weekly picks, Tim?
Yeah, let's do it.
Your weekly picks. All right, here are the weekly picks. You guys, you've been following us long enough to know that this is the fun part where we test Tim's knowledge, and I basically go against him on whatever he picks in most cases. But I'm going to give Tim some games here. I've got 4 games this week, and Tim's got to pick them from the top of his dome. And so what we're going to do right now is check the standings. Tim, after last week's, you're at 6-9. 6-9. So you're still
No
below
problem. I'll
500.
be 500 by the end of this week.
All right. And I went to 8-11. I got a couple games there on you. But we lost the Giants game. We both had the Giants game. I had the Jets game. I thought there'd be an upset city there. And I had the Panthers. I had the Panthers upsetting there as well. So that was where my wins were. And you had the Cowboys with a win there. So here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Week 6, Broncos, Jets. Who do you got?
I got to go with the Broncos. Jets look horrible.
They do.
And Broncos defense is stepping it up. Bo Nix is getting better and better every week. I definitely see Denver taking that.
Yeah, to me, yeah, I think this is a let up game for the Broncos. I think they got their big signature win last week. Now they're going into kind of like Bills, right? Bills got their big win. Now they go into New England, kind of let it up there. I mean, I just think the Jets have got to do something here. I don't think necessarily the Broncos are a high-powered offense to blow the doors off like the Bills. So I do think the Jets, I say this every week, every time I pick the Jets, I do think the Jets get it done this week. I do think that this is maybe an overlooked game for the Broncos after their signature win. So I'm going to go Jets here on this one. Chargers, Dolphins. I believe a couple Chargers running backs maybe out of this game. I think I saw.
Yeah, Omarion Hampton's going on the IR, and Najee Harris was already out for the season.
Yeah.
Chargers are decimated by injuries.
Yes.
This is a tough game because I really think Chargers are a better team, but I think the injuries are just taking a toll on them. They have no offensive line, no running backs at this point. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Miami.
I love that. Yes, this was a tough one for me here. I wanted to feel like the Dolphins, but I gotta agree with you. Without Tyreek Hill out there, the cheetah, the Dolphins just Tua just looks uncomfortable. Just not sure where to go. And defenses can just shut down Waddle, right? And then just basically try to break the running game. Justin Herbert's still back there. So that helps there. I think the Chargers get it done as well. And if they win, when in the hell is Miami going to blow? When is that going to happen there? Just lost my background. So there you go. This is taping here. So when is that going to happen? That's what I need to know there on that.
Exactly.
Piece. Pats and the Saints. Pats, Saints. So the Pats.
I think this is an easy one. I think the Pats got this by a lot. New Orleans definitely beat the Giants, which I was not happy about. But it's the only reason they did is because of turnovers. That's not happening against New England. That's not a Vrabel team. Vrabel's ball control, do what you got to do. I think Drake May's starting to come into his own, and for last night I saw the old Stephon Diggs back. I think Pats might blow him out.
Okay, interesting. I'm not riding too high on New England here. They got their signature win, but I do think that the Saints pull this one off. I don't think New England. Yeah, I don't think New England can sustain wins like that. And the Saints, you know, they got their win against the Giants. So I'm gonna go Saints there.
Okay. Hey, I already see the games I'm catching up on. That's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then we've got Chiefs Lions to end it out.
Chiefs are playing a whole lot better, and I can see them playing well. But from what I've been seeing from Detroit, after week 1, because Detroit did not play well week 1, but after that, it's like the old Detroit is back. I'm saying Detroit's going to beat Kansas City.
Woo, okay. Yeah, this one's tough for me because I don't think the Chiefs, man, can the Chiefs lose another game? So, like, this is really tough. Man. Do you know if this game's at home or is this in Detroit?
I can look it up.
Yeah, look it up real quick.
Yeah, because would that make a difference? I think so, but
I think it would make a difference. I feel like it would make a difference.
It's at Kansas City.
Yeah, it's tough. Man, this is a tough one.
Here's my problem. Here's the one thing I would say. Obviously, Chiefs got a huge home field advantage.
Yeah.
But this is good weather Kansas City. This isn't snow Kansas City. And
that's a good point.
Does Detroit play better in a dome? Obviously. But I think Detroit's offense, I think, is too much for Kansas City.
All right, you sold me. I'm gonna go with Detroit. So there we go. There, and you got Detroit as well, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So there are our weekly picks. All right, guys. Another week down, a loss to the Bills, and so now we are 4-1. I want to thank first off Tim, the outsider, for joining us today. Appreciate him coming aboard. As always, I want to thank Dwayne, DJ Nyce One, for joining us to talk about Atlanta Falcons. So make sure you also email us at billsmafiacto@gmail.com for any questions or if you want to get yourself in to the Mafia Mail.
My
favorite.
favorite.
If you have any hate mail for Tim, the outsider, based on his comments during this episode, billsmafiacto@gmail.com would be where you wanted to go. And
you
as
guys can't
always,
say anything right now. You know why? Because you just lost to the Pats.
And as always, be good, do good, God bless, and go Bills.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Bill's Mafia Carolina Takeover. Thanks for tuning in and repping the Mafia with us. Don't forget to subscribe, drop your Mafia mail, and join us next time as we bring the passion, the pride, and the power of the Buffalo Bills straight from the Carolinas. Let's go Buffalo.